Hi again. It's been a while since I've done a live, so let's just see if I can remember how to do this. And I felt the need to jump on and do one after speaking to a new client this morning. Now, this client's got a business that's having a bit of a growth spurt. It's profitable, but every month he finds himself looking at his bank account thinking, where's all the money gone? And the reason I felt the need to do a live is because that's the third time I've heard that same problem from three individual business owners in the past fortnight. And for me, that's a big issue because it's a dangerous situation for any business to find itself in. And I know that because many years ago, I was there. I had the same thing going on in my businesses, and it caused me lots of sleepless nights. I found myself tearing my hair out, wondering what I was doing wrong. And it just wasn't a great place to be. Okay, I think it's going to be easier for me to show you rather than tell you what was going on in these three businesses and what was going on in mine. So let me just bring up a couple of slides for you. 1 second. So for this demo, I'm going to use a product business. Now, you may say to yourself, well, I've got a service business, Kev, so this doesn't apply to me. It does. Your stock is time, and you cannot possibly be paying wages or salary on that time. So it's the same scenario with a slightly different context. So back to this product business. They order some stock, and that stock arrives on what we're going to call day one. The stock then sits on the shelf waiting for someone to come along and buy it. But the business has to pay for that stock, and they've been given 30 days terms with their supplier. So they pay their accounts payable to the supplier on day 30. Now, they don't pay a day earlier and don't pay a day later because that's just good management. For this example, we're going to assume that the stock sits on the shelf for 30 days. Now, but once a sale's made on day 60, the stock then leaves the business. And if the business gives its customers 30-day terms, which is pretty common in most businesses, and for whatever reason, the customer delays paying, but finally gets around to it on day 45, that now means that the aged receivables are 45 days. However, because the business paid for its stock on day 30, it means they've been without the cash in their own bank account for 75 days. So why does that matter? Well, it matters a great deal, particularly in a business that's growing, because a growing business is what I call a cash cow. And just like any other cow, the cow needs feeding. So let's see how this can play out. I'm going to say in this business, they start out with £5,000 in the bank. Their price is 500 quid. And they've got a gross margin of 20%, which means that costs are £400 per unit. Now, this business is on an upward trajectory. And every month, they're growing by one more sale, which means that, let's just say, make 3 sales this month, it'll be 4 next month, it'll be 5 the month after. Now, you might be thinking, this is one great scenario, and the business owner must be dancing all the way to the bank. But here's the thing. They've got a 60-day cash gap. So let's just see how that plays out. So as you can see from this graph, things are looking great. Sales are on the up and up. And with 20% margin, their profits are going up consistently as well. And things appear to be awesome, except because they're growing, or the sales are growing, they have to keep buying even more stock ahead of time, which means they're going to run into problems because the cash from their last month's sales won't be enough to cover the increase in stock they need. So they're always going to be chasing next month's growth with this month's money. Now, because they are growing every month, their cash in the bank will start to fall behind the needs of the business. It's only a matter of time before they've exhausted all their working capital. So, as those profits are going up, their cash is going down. And if the business doesn't arrest this situation quickly, in just a few months, it's going to be in real trouble and possibly facing bankruptcy. Now, in this type of scenario, it is unusual for the owner, who doesn't have all the information they need, to presume that the shortfall in profit must be down to theft by the team or by the customers. And they find themselves running around wishing they had eyes in the back of their head, trying to fix a problem that they don't have. Now, once again, I know that because I was one of those people. But something I realised is that by having those suspicions, I was eroding trust, something that's intangible, but has a huge, huge impact on the profit of business. So let me just open up the screen again. Now, something I've often found is that companies where a company's financials sometimes reveal the traits and the personality of the business owner. One of my clients, let's call her Sarah, and Sarah has a consultancy business, and she's really excellent at what she does, and the clients rave about her. Now, as a result, when I started working with Sarah, her business was growing fast, and that meant she was constantly having to recruit new people. That led to her having to expand her office space. The bottom line of a P&L, or profit and loss account, was healthy. There was plenty of profit, but here's the thing. Profit's just a theory, isn't it? As the saying goes, turnover's vanity, profit's sanity, cash is king. And in Sarah's case, because she had more concern about her client work and less on the business's needs, she took her eye off her own receivables, the money coming in and the time and the frequency of that money coming in. And then to compound things, because she's such a nice person, she also had the habit of paying her customers as soon as their invoices arrived. Now, Sarah, even though her business was growing fast, was probably within a couple of months of going under, unless something changed, and it needed to change fast. And that meant I had to have some pretty tough conversations with her. I had to hold the mirror up to her so she was able to see she was the one responsible for what was happening in the business, because she was the one that was training people how to treat her. So in truth, and this hurt her a bit, she deserved what she was tolerating. That's tough love, I know, but she needed it to start behaving more like a business owner than a friendly service provider. Now, fortunately, together we were able to create and implement some better systems into the business. And as a result of that, now Sarah has a profitable business that has more than enough money in the bank to pay all of her commitments. It's a business that's delivering quality work, and it's a great place for people to work. So, what's the lesson here? Well, the lesson is to actively manage your cash gap and ensure the gap between what's going out and your receivables isn't expanding, affecting your cash on hand. Now, I would recommend that you create a cash flow forecast at least every month. Weekly is better, and in some cases, depending on your situation, you might even need to do that on a daily basis. Now, for me, cash management is such an important part of the overall strategic management of any business. And if you want to go deeper and build into building a strategy for yourself and learn about the elements that go into cash flow management, just comment cash flow in the comments and I'll send you over my cash flow guide. It's packed with ideas for how you can manage things better. And there's no opt-in required, by the way. Okay, I hope that's been helpful. And remember, this only works if you give it a go. You need to take these ideas from theory to practice and from practice to mastery. Today, not someday. It's going to help you close the gap between where you are now and where you want to go. And you will thank me later. Now, if you found the video helpful, remember to like it and share it with someone else who would benefit from watching it. And thinking on, before I get off, I will do another live in the next few days showing how to create that cash flow forecast. Now, you go out there and you make it a cracking, profitable, and really importantly, a cash-rich day.